Hey everybody, it is Mary Jo from Mary Jo's Creations. Welcome back to my channel. How y'all doing? If you're new here, welcome. I hope you like it here and I hope you stay. It can get a little chaotic around here. But at least it's entertaining. And if you're returning, welcome back, friend. Today is May 2nd. Now, yesterday, honestly, I was not feeling too good. I was feeling better, but I've been, I don't know, like I feel okay and then I start doing stuff and I don't feel okay, and it's kind of hard to explain, but if you have fibromyalgia or like a thyroid condition or something that causes you to be in pain all the time or feel tired all the time, then I think you'll understand how I'm feeling. But not only that, like, I was gonna film, to be honest with you. I did work on my blanket, but I just honestly wasn't feeling good enough to film, and I don't know, I just thought it was better for me to just relax a little bit. And that's what I did. I mean, I did crochet, and also when I kind of felt like a little bit better, I started, oh, guess what? I started working on another project. Because of course I did. Because, I wanted a tank top. And to be more specific, a mesh tank top. Why? I don't know. But that's what I wanted. So that's what I started. Honestly, I wanted a shirt that I could wear where if I wanted to wear one of my cardigans, I could wear this one color and it would go. Now, I don't know if it'll go with everything, but there are a few cardigans that I have that'll go with this. And I don't know, I just felt like making it. And if you've been here and you know me, especially when it's something that I'm not certain of, I don't want to film and unless you want to see that. But I did frog quite a few times before I got it right. And then like the first time I did it, it was too small. And I was trying to figure it out, right? Because the last sweater I did, now it's kind of like the same concept, right? And I'll show you the first panel, which is done. But it's kind of like the same concept as the sweater, which is panels, right? And again, I wanted it to be light and airy. I always wear a tank top all the time. So even when I have a shirt on like this, I always have a tank top underneath. Sorry, I flashed you there for a second. I always have a tank top underneath. So I don't need, when it's a tank top, I don't really need to wear something that's solid, right? Because in the summertime, like I said, or all year round, really, no matter what, I always have a tank top or I don't know if it's considered a tank top or um what's it with the spaghetti straps? And it's an undershirt with a shelf bra because I am very top heavy and a bra is not enough for me. So I always like to wear a tank top because it gives me more support. And because I always wear a tank top, unless I'm wearing like some kind of like, I don't think I showed you, but I made like a bra top last year, like a kind of like a, almost like a halter top, but it's more like a, kind of like a, looks like a bikini top with some shorts. And that I'll wear, but it gives me support. But anyway, with a tank top, I was thinking about it and I'm like, I don't want it to be too heavy. So I can make kind of like a mesh stitch, right? And that way it's not going to be like super heavy because I have tank tops that are solid and they're warm. I mean, yes, I am using acrylic yarn, but before I do it with cotton, I wanted to do it with acrylic. And this is the thinner one because I don't have a tank top in this acrylic because this is the Big Twist and it's a lot thinner than all the other acrylics that I've used. So I was like, okay, maybe if I make it a mesh stitch and use this one, it won't be as thick and it'll be good. So I tried to do it the same way as the shirt, but the shirt now, the sweater that I made, right, with I think it's the fusion yarn. I made it at first. Okay. Thoughts. Too many. Can't think straight and put in order. The sweater right now is big. I don't know if I mean, I know I've lost a little bit of weight, but the sweater is big. Okay. And I thought I thought I made it big. I mean, I wanted to make it baggy and oversized, but it really is too big. And at first I thought maybe I did the math wrong or whatever. And I could have sworn that I measured it, but it was so big. And even my friend had said something. She was like, why did you make it so big? And at the time I didn't think about it. And I'm like, well, I wanted it oversized. But honestly, I did make it to measurement. Because when I started doing this one, I shortened it, right? And I'm like, I did shorter, wow, it's like I can't speak. I did less chains, right? And I think that the first time I tried making this, I did 55 chains. But it was a little too tight because it didn't go around halfway, right? I tried to do it halfway, and where you see where this is a little snug, that's okay. But even around here, it didn't go. This has stretch. This'll fit. But I was thinking to myself, okay, let me go and see the sweater and put it on and see how big it actually is, right? So I decided to remove 12, I believe it was 12 stitches. And then I was like, wait a minute, let me measure. And I'm telling you, my measurements are the same as the sweater. But for some reason, the sweater is huge. Now, I took my measurements and I measured it against the sweater, and it's the right measurements. But for some reason, it's huge. So I decided to remove 12 stitches. And I'm hoping it's going to be enough. Now, I didn't want it super tight, but my thing is this. I think that the sweater got bigger as I wore it, which clearly acrylic stretches, but I think it stretched a lot. And, you know, I always think that I make my sweaters to measurement, and for some reason, they always come out big. So this time, I did it a little tighter. And I think it's going to look good. Now, I just finished one panel. I don't know if it's going to be the front panel or the back panel because, honestly, they're both going to be done the same way. I think the only difference is going to be when I do the trim around it. Because, you know, once I connect it, I'm going to have to do, well, I don't have to, but clearly you don't have to do anything you don't want to, right? Or depending on what look you want it to be. If you want it to be more like of a rustic hobo look, or if you want it, you know, a more cleaner look. But I am going to do a border of at least a single crochet or maybe even a half double crochet, but I'm not sure yet. But I think it's coming out nice. Now, again, I don't know if this is the front panel or the back panel. I also do want to see, I'm not sure, because like when I did, I'll show you. When I did one panel already, and it didn't take me very long. This stitch is very quick. I probably would have gotten it done faster if I had sat here for maybe an hour and a half straight. But I'm going to my friend's house tomorrow for family weekend, like Sunday dinner kind of. And I kind of wanted to wear this, right? So this is what it's looking like so far. And if you see here, I did 10 single crochets here and then started the strap. So that way, when the shirt is on, right, this is really like the armpit area right here, right? And then the idea is to have it go around like this, do the border here, right? And they would be connected like this. Now, do I want to do the back the same way? Or, because I guess this would be the front. And then do I do the back the same way? Or do I do it less? That's what I don't know. But that's what we're going to figure out. Because I might do it like that. Because the straps really, this didn't take me any time at all. It's only 11 rows of 4 going all the way up. So that didn't take me much time. And if I have to rip it back, it doesn't matter. So I think I'm going to do it the same way. And you see how it is curving a little bit, which is great. And then I think with the border of, we'll just do like a single crochet down the sleeve here. Or I can just leave it like this because I actually like it. I actually like it like this instead of doing a single crochet around it. I like the way this looks for me personally. And Because remember, or if you're new here, when I do the single crochet, oh, Jesus, when I do double crochets, right, I don't do a chain 2 or a chain 3 when I turn. I chain 1 and then I do a single crochet, a stacked single crochet as the first stitch. Like it is right there. I do a stacked single crochet, and I like the way it leaves the edges. I actually really like the way this looks, so I might leave it. I might not do a trim around it. And I think that I can get this done maybe within an hour, hour and a half. Now, it is late tonight already because, like I was saying, my ADHD is on a roll today. I am going to my friend's house tomorrow, and I wanted to take a cake. So I was baking today. I baked a pound cake. And, you know, as always, because apparently I can't do anything small, I kind of like end up always tweaking and making my own recipe. And I made a trial run first, right? My own recipe. I just looked for recipes, and then I end up like mixing and matching. I get an idea and then I make my own recipe. Don't ask. It's a problem. It really is a problem. The making my own patterns does not just, you know, encompass crochet. I have issues. So when I bake, I do the same thing. And I first did a trial run because I had never made it before. I was going to make my chocolate cake, but I ran out of cocoa powder, so I couldn't make my chocolate cake. And I had no chocolate in the house, which is sad. But anyway, I decided to make a vanilla pound cake. And, you know, I did a trial run, and it's very, like, there was enough to make 2 loaf pans. And that's how I made the first ones. And then the one I'm going to take to my friend's house, I actually put one in a bundt pan. And I had enough to make another bundt pan. I mean, another loaf pan. Because again, I can't do anything small. Now, the ones I made for me, one of them I was waiting for it to cool off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze it so that during the week I can have some pound cake. You know, it made 2 loaves. So I'm going to freeze one. And I already like had 2 slices. Because of course I did. And you know what? Like in the morning, like toasted with a little bit of butter. Oh my God. And I have strawberries that I like. I do this thing that my mother used to do it all the time. She used to take strawberries and she used to put sugar over them and let them sit in the refrigerator, and you get like that nice sugary, syrupy strawberries, and that is delicious. Like on top of ice cream or whipped cream, and on top of pound cake. Cornbread, because I made cornbread the other night. I have issues. So yeah, the whole point of the story is that I spent a lot of time today in the kitchen baking, which is my other fun thing to do. My two favorite things to do is bake and crochet. I just sadly don't really have anyone to bake for anymore. And, I'll bake for myself time to time. And most of the time I'll, like if I make something big or if like the cake, I did them in loaf pans, and I did that with the chocolate too. And I froze one. And I'm going to do the same with this one. I'll freeze one. And then next week, if I want something sweet, I already have it. Or it might not even last that long. But it is better than store-bought. So anyway, because of that, I was, getting up a lot. When I did get a chance to sit down and work on this, I didn't want to be filming for just a few minutes and then stopping the camera. And then again, I was still trying to figure out how many rows I had to do and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, I think I made a mistake. I don't think I chained one right there. Is that going to affect it? I mean, we're doing it in the chain spaces, so I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. But I was sitting here doing this, and I was like, you know what? Let me share with you what I'm doing. And I was about to do it again. I need to chain one. Chain one. So I was sitting here and I was like, well, you know what? Let me just share with you what I'm doing. And this is really, like I said, I do want to get the blanket done, but I kind of wanted to wear this tomorrow too. And that was one of the reasons why I started it. Because, of course I would want to crochet a shirt or something to wear for the next day. Because why not? Because I'm crazy. Now, I'm pretty sure that I can get this finished. Because like I said, this will take me about maybe, I think, an hour to get to row 27. And I had just started it when I think I was on like row 2 when I started filming. So I'll count the rows. And we've been talking for about 23 minutes. And we're going to see how many rows we did. Now, this is a little bit, I know this is a little bit probably different. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. Or I know what I'm doing. I just don't know. I'm assuming this is a mesh stitch from what I see. I don't know. But so far, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I started 1, 2. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. So I believe I did like 6 rows so far. And I need 27 rows. So we need what? 19 rows, right? Is my math right? We got 8 rows. Chain 1. And this is what we're going to be working on for the rest of the night. Now, I did work on the blanket yesterday, though, for a little bit. When I was frustrated with this because I couldn't, and that's why I also didn't film, and I think I was saying that. I just got a really bad pain in the back of my head. Um, Another reason I really didn't film is because, and I think I was saying this before, um, it was just a lot of trial and error. And I don't know if y'all want to see me making something and then ripping it back and then trying to figure it out all over again and all of that. So I was like, I'm not going to film trying to figure this out. But if y'all do want to see that, then let me know in the comment section and I'll do that. But when I couldn't, like, I was trying to figure this out and I needed a break. I had already ripped it back once and I needed a break. So I decided to work on the blanket and finish that row that we were doing, and I did tie on the pink. So I'm going to finish this row right here, and I will show you the blanket. Because honestly, I need to take a break. I was working before I came on, because I did finish, I didn't chain one. And this is also something like, where, especially in the beginning, I have to pay attention so that I don't mess up, And when you're first creating something and you're trying to figure it out, it's kind of hard to talk and figure it out at the same time. Now it's like, I'm okay. I just have to remember to chain one. Until I get to the end. And then it's either chain one or not chain one. I could have fixed it, but I just left it. And what I mean is, like, I should have, like, chained 60 plus 2. And I did, 61. And when I went to do because it's like in here, then skip 1 and like on the bottom, because now I'm going in the chain spaces. So it was starting here. I did the stacked single crochet, and then I skipped 1 double crochet, skipped 1 double crochet. When I got to the end, there was an extra stitch. So what I did was I did 2 double crochets. So in the next one, I do 1 stacked single, and I skip 1 and do a double crochet in the chain space. So when we get over to this end, we have 2. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it right now, but this is how it came out. If I would have added 2 to the 60, it would have probably given me an even number. But I didn't do that because I wasn't going to take apart. I wasn't going to do that. So anyway, this is what it looks like. And I do need to take a break because, like I said, before I started filming, I was trying to figure out the straps. And I had finished 1 strap, and I was like on this strap, so I finished the 2nd strap, and then I started the bottom, which I needed to concentrate. And I'm still on my first skein. I think I'm only going to need 1 skein for this top, which will be great. I would love that, to make a top with 1 skein. Now, obviously, if I decide to ever do a top like this and put sleeves on it, it's going to take more than 1 skein. But just knowing that, and I think that there's going to be leftover. But anyway, I need to take a little bit of a break because I'm starting to be in pain. But I want to show you the blanket before I take a break. So hold on. Let me go get it. Okay. So I did attach the last row that I was doing. Remember, I ran out of yarn. I think I showed you, didn't I? I don't know. I'm so lost right now. But I did. I attached the pink. And here we go. So, I did the last 3 rows in pink. So this is where the purple finished. This thing is so huge. This is where the purple finished right here. And then I added the pink, which it's so funny that this one was pink. And so we added the pink and we went all the way down and we finished the blanket. Now, in order to continue, I need to weave in the ends on the next stack, the next row. And that's another thing I didn't feel like doing yesterday because I just didn't feel like doing it. Now, tomorrow, I'm not going to be home for most of the day. So, I'm not working on the blanket either because I'm not taking this to my friend's house. Although I can if I want to. It wouldn't be the first time I take a blanket to work on when I'm at her house. It wouldn't be the first time. But oh, we didn't cut off the center, so let's do that. Because remember, we wove them in. We just left them so we knew how to connect them. That one was clipped. And now we can just clip them off. Now, if I want to, I can. There goes my notebook that I was writing my notes in for the top. Of course it did. Because I'm just a hot mess and everything falls and I'm in this tiny little space and my room is freezing. Not my bedroom, my craft room is just so cold. And I want to film what I made and how much yarn I used in the month of April. But it's been so cold in there that I can't. And I'm hoping we are supposed to have good weather. I think Monday is supposed to be like sunny and in the 70s. I think. I know towards the end of the week it's supposed to get cold and rainy again, and my feet are already starting to feel it. But I believe that Monday and Tuesday are supposed to be nice so far, and I would like to go in there and straighten up and at least do that video. Maybe I might do a video cleaning up my room, but at least do what I made and how much I used in March. And I would like to get that video done. There's another video that I wanted to get done, and I can't remember what that is. And we also have to sit down and figure out what whips are left and what we're going to do this month. But before we do that, I want to get this top and this blanket done. Or maybe not even then. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this week we will, before we continue the blanket, we will sit down and I'll show you all the whips that I have and what's in my room. And we're going to figure out what we're doing. Because clearly, this blanket, I need a little bit of a space between this blanket. And I do want to work on it. And that was going to be the plan today, to work on this and the shirt. However, like I said, I'm going to my friend's house tomorrow, and I wanted to take something. That's just, I don't know, that's just me. I just wanted to take something, and I called her and asked her, and she's like, bake whatever you want. So I did. And that took up most of my day. And like I said, I tried to get some done, which I did. I did the whole panel today. I mean, I think last night there was probably as much done as is here because I figured it out last night and I did the right amount. And I think this will work. Once I got it up to this point yesterday, I put it down. I couldn't take it anymore and I went to sleep. So this morning or during the day, don't fall. Okay. I, while in between baking, I did make this whole panel. And again, it was just sitting 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. I think the whole thing in total time took me about an hour and a half. And that's really it. I've been having a lazy, 2 days because, and not lazy because honestly, I've been doing stuff, just, not crochet stuff. Yesterday was another day that I wasn't sitting in the house all day. So, I was doing stuff in between, going to the store and stuff like that. Which I think I did get, a good amount done because I did get to finish this row on the blanket, which was 3 squares. And I finished one and did 3 whole squares. And I didn't go around I don't think I went around the bottom. No, I didn't go around the bottom. No, not yet. But I did attach the rest of the squares. And I started working on this. And this morning I did weave in the ends to this headbands. I don't know. I like it. Actually, I could probably wear it with this and get away with it. But I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do my hair tomorrow. This is what my hair does. Y'all, look at that. Alright, I need a break. I need to go take care of my pain. I did weave some ends in and, little things here and there. But I also straightened up my room a little bit and got some things written down and all of that behind the scenes crap. And I cleared off, I have like a dresser where I have like paperwork and stuff, and I cleared that off. So I did do a few things today, just unfortunately not that much crocheting. But that stuff has to get done too, unfortunately. And I had to clean my kitchen and, all of that good stuff. So, we will be getting a lot of stuff done. It's just some days are going to be slower than others. And then some days I do more than, I expected to do. So it all balances out eventually, right? So I'm going to take a break and I will be back before the end of the night. Hi guys. Okay, so it is Monday. Monday the May 4th. Oh, I'm not a Star Wars kind of girl, but if you are and you love Star Wars, May the 4th be with you, okay? Now, I finished this. I was able to finish it yesterday and put it together, and I was able to wear it yesterday at my friend's house. But, and of course, there's always a but, right? I, number one, went over there without a yarning needle, right? I always try to keep at least one in my little travel pouch. For some reason, no yarning needle. Turned out to be a good thing, though. Because now that I have to take it apart, it was a lot easier. And the reason why I'm taking it apart is this. Number one, I had to, this I was going to sew. Now, I really don't like to sew things, but for some reason, the way it's made, I think it'll look better when it's sewn and it won't bunch up as much. Because I did, I think I did a slip stitch. But I really wanted to sew it. But I couldn't do that because I didn't have, I think I could leave that knot in there. I didn't have a yarning needle, right? So I had to crochet it because, again, I wanted to wear it. Now, before I went to her house, I was able to finish the second panel. And I'm also, it's my fault because, number one, I should have, I did connect the straps and I should have tried it on before I started connecting everything else, and I didn't. The straps were too long. I fixed it now. Actually, I fixed it last night when I came home, but I was so tired and I tried to film and I couldn't. But again, all I did was the straps and I was just very tired. I couldn't, continue. So I just put it down and I said I would finish it today. Now, since I, am going to fix the straps and everything, I figured that, because like I said, to me it looks a little bunched up, a little too much. So I want to take it apart and I want to sew it. And I think that'll look a lot better. Now what I did was I just took out the knots, which took me forever to, get that out. But I waited to be on screen with you so I could take it apart. And before I take both sides apart, I'm just going to take this one apart and sew it and then show you what I'm talking about. Now, I didn't take the knots out down here, which I probably should have, because now I have this like loop here and I should probably try and take this apart. But, knots, I mean, I was always good at taking apart knots. Ever since I was a little kid. And whenever, like, something was really knotted, I don't know where I got the skill or ability from or whatever you want to call it, but I've had it since I was a kid, to a point like I remember being like maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8, maybe 10, something like that. And whenever there was a knot on something, my mother would always give it to me to take it apart. Because some reason I can figure them out. But what I would really want to do is, I really got it in there. Let me tell you something. This isn't like going anywhere. And it's like I got so much yarn now, which I'm really upset because, obviously I don't have to worry about it because it's enough, to get it sewn. But then I'm going to have all these little tiny pieces and, I don't like to waste it. I want to use it for something, scrap. But it's like, now it's all in pieces and not very big pieces. So, I don't know, maybe like centers of granny squares. And if we have to tie it to something else, tie it to a different color so that way, it's not, there's a reason why the knots are there. I know that might not make sense to some people, but if it's like what on earth did I do here? I don't know. Yes, there we go. I got it. I got it. I got it. I might have to do the same thing to the other side, but that's okay. Now, this is way too much to sew because obviously, or not obviously, because you might not know, that when you crochet and when you sew, you use a lot more yarn when you crochet than when you sew. So I definitely don't need this giant piece. So I'm going to normally, I think that like going 2 times across, maybe 3 is enough to do the whole length and still have some left over. And look at all of this. This is all I used. I know I don't need that, and I probably don't need as much as I have here. But we are going to cut it here. And now this is all that I have that I cut off from the straps. I have to sew those too. I have this little piece here, which isn't going to be much for anything. And this piece here, which also isn't much for anything. But now, like, tying these two together will give me a longer string, right? But it'll have knots in it. And my thing is, if I'm going to have knots, I might as well tie it on to other colors instead of the same color. I know that might not make sense to some of you, and I know there's some of you that that'll make sense to. Because if I'm going, see, like this is a tiny little piece, but I can tie this on to a different color and maybe do a nice funky center of a square for the scrap blanket that we're going to make for Christmas, right? Now this is a much longer piece. But these are what was left. So I'm not going to throw this out. Well, I don't throw any of it out anyway. But I'm not going to, you know, put it into what I've been doing. And I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. It's the ADHD. Is it still here? Yes. Okay. I saw, I believe it was Miss Megan Made Me do this, and I thought it was genius. Now, I do have to buy one because I don't have one, and you'll know what I'm talking about in just a second. But I did have this plastic thing from a sleeping bag. And I decided to just store it in here until I can actually buy one. And it's the scrap yarn, all the pieces from when I started, because I always kept them in this, like, I think it's an ice bucket. And I never threw them out. I don't do Ami. I'm not even going to attempt to do Ami. I don't do plushies. I don't want to do plushies. I don't think my hands, honestly, and all jokes aside, because of the fibromyalgia, sometimes my hands, it's hard enough doing like baskets and the conical hat where I double strand and I have to do really tight stitches. For Ami, you have to do extremely tight stitches and you have to use sometimes small hooks depending on the yarn you're using. And I don't think my hands could handle that, even if I wanted to do it. But in all honesty, and I love people who do Ami. I think they're so talented and amazing. It's not me. It's not my thing. And I frankly, you know, would I like someday maybe to make like a bear and make one for each of my grandkids? Yes. But I know right now, at least, my hands wouldn't be able to take it. But I have kept all of them. And I put them in here. And I want to save enough so that I can make like a footrest. They have them, the inflatable or the plastic footrests that I guess you could fill them with something, or you can fill them with air, whatever you want to fill them with. And I would like to have one in my room so that, you know, it's light and I could just pick it up and put it wherever I need to. And it's, it's going to look cute because it has all the yarn scraps in it. But I need something in here that I can move out of the way quickly and it's not heavy. Because I have to, at times, put my feet up, or at least my left leg up. And I don't have anything. So I'm using all my scrap little things to put in here. And I've just been collecting them. And when I found that, I put it in there. These are too big to go in there. That was the whole point of that. But hopefully, we can pair that with something else and it's going to be beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is sew this side up. And then I want to show you the difference before I take that other side apart. And I'm also going to sew the straps. So I think that it came out perfect. I think it's going to look a lot better once I sew it. But honestly, it came out a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And it, what do you call that? Jesus, my brain does not want to work this morning. Wow. Just fell out of my head. I cannot remember where I was going with that. Let me see. I think that the sewing is going to make it look a lot cleaner and not as bunched up as it was with the side that was crocheted. And I'm going to show you that when I'm done. But I thought that, the way that it's I used, seriously, I don't know what's going on, guys. I feel so I really feel like between the ADHD and the fibromyalgia, the fibro fog, that it's like I can't even think straight half the time. But anyway, I think that sewing it will make it look a little bit better. And once it gets finished, I'll let you see what the difference is on the sides between being crocheted, which I believe I did a slip stitch, or being sewn together. And as much as I hate sewing, sometimes with certain things, that's exactly what it needs. And that's exactly what we're going to do this time. Now, I believe I told you I had made it, I used more or less the same chain count as the sweater. That's what I was going by. And I know it was too big, so I removed 12 stitches from the chain. And I honestly think that that was a very good idea. I think it came out really nice, and you're going to see it. My friend actually said that I finally made something that fit me. And I don't know if you remember or if I told you in another video or if you even watched that video, but I do have yarn that I got from Walmart that's more, oh, my nose is itchy, Mandala yarn. And I wanted to recreate the sweater, the fusion sweater that I did, which that video is here if you want to go watch it. I made a sweater with fusion yarn from Michaels. And it's beautiful. And again, I thought I made it to measurement, and that's the one I was using to measure this. And it ended up coming out too big, and I ended up running out of yarn because it was, bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And again, I did it by measurement. So I don't understand why when I do the right measurements, it comes out huge. And I will show you the difference at the end of this video. I'll put that on and I'll put this on and I'll show you what it looks like. So that way you have an idea. And I'm going to recreate that sweater. Now that's fine because I can measure that sweater. I have all of the notes written down on that sweater. And I will find out from, I think it's the Yarn Society, to find out what size that actually is. And, it will be, I will keep that size as, an option when I do the pattern, right? But I want to recreate it, and I think I'm going to do it in the same count as this one. Now, if I do that, I believe I will definitely have enough left over to maybe make a tank like this, so I can have a sweater and a tank. Or maybe I can do the tank top first. I don't know yet. Because it is summer and, well, it's supposed to be summer. Who knows, maybe a nice tank top in that pastel colors will look pretty. Maybe we can do a vote on that and see what I should make, whether it should be a sweater or a tank top. But to be honest, I think I might have enough to do both. Because I believe I got 3 skeins of that yarn, and that yarn is what? Way more than this. 1 skein, I think, is it 300 and something yards? Or is it, let me check, hold on. Okay, this is the one that I got. It's so pretty. It's called Diagon Alley, which is why I wanted it. I'm a very big Harry Potter fan, if you don't know. But I have 3 of these. And these are 590 yards. Now, to make this tank top, I used 1 skein of Big Twist. There was a tiny bit left over, which isn't enough for anything. It's going in the scrap pile. I don't even know where I put it, but it's very small. And this one is 380 yards. So I have 3 of these. With 3 of these, I can definitely make, because 380 yards just for the body. Then yes, you have the sleeves. But I don't think the sleeves would, be that much more where I wouldn't have enough to do a sweater and do a tank top. Or maybe I might just do a cardigan, although I don't like, maybe a different kind of cardigan. I was going to say a hexie, but I don't really want to do a hexie in a 3-weight yarn. I really don't. I have one, and actually I have 2. I have one in the Mandala Ombre, and I have one that I actually wore yesterday in also Mandala like this, but it's, I can't remember what it was. But to me, it's a little too thin, a little too lightweight, a little too, I know you want them flowy, but I don't know, to me, I have 2 already. I don't know if I want to make another one. Um, although I'm going to have to at some point to recreate it and make sure that all the measurements come out right. But anyway, um, maybe a different kind of cardigan. We can try doing this, like a panel cardigan, which I don't have in a lightweight. And we can try and figure that out. Or maybe make a wrap. Or, I don't know. You know how my brain works. I also have this color, which I totally love. And it's called Wood Nymph. Look at that. You know, these are my colors. I either like earth tone colors. I wear a lot of black, if you haven't noticed. That is my real favorite color. I love black. I've always worn black above everything else. But I also love dark browns and dark greens, forest green, dark greens, dark browns, gray is my other favorite color. But if I have to pick like colors, it's always purples. Always purples. But I do get told I look good in blue, so I don't know. Maybe it matches my eyes. It does bring out my eyes because my eyes are hazel, although you can't really tell. But anyway, we are going to be using these very soon. And I think I might make a tank top. I might have enough to make a tank top out of both of them. And that would be really pretty. And then maybe make like, again, just a light summer cardigan. We can figure it out. But these are the two colors that I have in mind that I wouldn't mind trying to make a tank top like that. And hold on. And honestly, I don't know why we got to that, but anyway, we did use one skein of the blue, and I believe this is our first skein of this month. We're just going to put it off to the side right here for now. And normally, wow. Normally, what I like to do is save the skeins for a whole week. Then I write them in my book. I keep a count. Maybe we can do it by day so I know how much yarn I use in a day. Some days are good, some days are bad. But we'll figure that out. I'm going to go work on this. And I'm going to sew this up. And before I take apart the other side and sew that, I will show you what it looks like. And now for some things, I don't like sewing, and I'm going to show you why real quick. Because I have enough done. You see how it gives that solid cluster right there? And when you crochet them, you see the difference? Let me see if I can hold them up side by side to give you a better idea. See there? And there. Now, I kind of wanted this look, which maybe if I do it the other way, it will give me that look. But for some projects, that's nice. For other projects, I think this might be a little bit better because it'll give it a little more give, a little more stretch. And it all depends on the project. It all depends on the look that you want to get. It all depends on how you want your project to be. I think for this project and the tank top, I think that is okay. Would I rather have a cleaner look like that? Maybe, but I also don't want this bulge on the side. And that's the main reason why I want to do it this way. Because I don't want that seam on the inside. For certain things, it's okay. And, like the cardigans, when I connected the squares, and I did it on the outside so I can have this ridge on the outside. It all depends on your project. Sometimes you might do it and to see, and if you don't like the way it looks, because that's how I did. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it sits. So I'm going to change it and do it this way. And sometimes you have to take a project apart. That's just the nature of it. Sometimes you have it all finished, and I suggest that if you do complete a project and you put it on and there's something about it that you don't like, something about the way you made it, that it's either not fitting right or not looking right, or you just don't like it, it's okay to take it apart and try something different. Because you don't want to spend all this time. Now, mind you, this did not take me very long. I think in total, the first time that it was made, in total, maybe 3.5 hours to do this top. At the most 4. And that's including like weaving in, connecting it and all the ends and stuff like that. Which I did, not the best job because I didn't have a yarning needle. But I look at that as an upside, because if I had done it this way, then it would have been a lot harder to take it apart. So I'm going to continue to work on this. And when I'm done, I will let you know how it looks. So I will be right back. Okay. So I did it a little bit differently. I did take it apart. Instead of doing, I think that's called the whip stitch, I just held it together and just, I don't know. I can't remember the names of the stitches, but I did it just a little bit differently. So you don't get that full thick piece in here like you did with the other stitch, but you do, which I think that's the mattress stitch. I think this is the whip stitch. If you know, let me know, because I'm not too sure. But so it gives it a cleaner look, and it doesn't give me that ridge. Once you flatten it out, it doesn't have that ridge. But it gives me kind of the same look that this did, if it makes sense. Like, if you can see it. So it kind of still gives me this look, but I think that this will be good. I might not be making any sense to you, but all I have to do is finish this side. And I'm going to take this side apart and do this side. And then I'll show you when it's done. And then this video's got to get done, because this video is supposed to go up today. And, it's not there yet. But I am going to finish this right here. I just took it apart. I'm going to sew this together. And I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm just going to clip this off right here. That's enough to sew. And that was way too much yarn. So this was probably one whole side that I don't need. And let's see. There's just like yarn everywhere. Here we go. And I'm going to do this way. Watch. 1, 2. This was the same way that I did it before, right? 3. And then I'm going to take this piece of yarn and go this way. All right. I will leave just a little bit extra so that I make sure I have enough. But we will cut it off here. And that's for the straps, which I don't need that much for the straps either. And actually the straps are probably the easiest thing to do. We'll cut the bigger one off here. Just leave enough to weave in the ends. And this one is way too big, but we're going to leave it anyway because this will literally take like 2 seconds. And we're just going to, I like to go into both V's and just go straight through both V's. Come around, go straight through both V's. And that's just how I like to do it. It may be wrong, it may not, I don't know. But if it works for me and it stays steady and it stays closed, that's all that matters. And most of the time, I like to go at the end around twice. And then I'll go one more time and I'll go into it twice and then pull. So it does form that knot. Come on now. I don't have the strength in my hands like I used to be honest with you. Come on. All right. So, why is it not pulling? I don't have the strength in my hands. All right. I don't think you want to watch this anymore. That's okay. We got it steady. We're going to cut this off right here and leave just enough to weave in the ends. And there we go with another small piece. It's just like in pieces. But at least now I know how much yarn I need, what I need, you know, like how I'm doing it. And that's okay. This yarn was the best yarn to use as like a trial run because, you know, it's a value yarn. It's not a very expensive yarn, so if you make a mistake, that's fine. We'll finish that off in a little bit. So now we have one whole strap done. We have one whole side done. Let's do this other strap. And then I will come back and show you what it looks like. And I know this video is all over the place. I know this video isn't, you know, perfect, but guess what? I'm not perfect either. And I want people to know that it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to not do things the way everyone else does them. And it's okay to be different. Whatever different that might be. But just because you're different or you do things differently doesn't mean that you're wrong or doing anything wrong, or that you're less than anybody else. And I rather be authentic and just be my crazy nutty self. See, this one pulled right down. I don't know what the hell was wrong with the other one. It just didn't want to work for me. Clip right here, that's enough to weave in. And we have another strap done. And we will just knot here. And then weave in those ends in a little bit. And that's fine. These... I have to take my allergy medicine. But I think I like the way it's looking. Like I said, I have to take a break for a minute because I need to go to the bathroom. And when I come back, I will stitch this up and then I will show you what it looks like. It'll only take another maybe 5-10 minutes because, like I said, the rest of the shirt is all done. I just need to, I believe it's called a whip stitch, all the way up. And that's it. It's done. And I can't wait to show you. So give me a second and I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm down to the last few stitches. It is done. And I'm going to put it on and show you before I, you know, weave in the ends. And we will end this video here. And trust me, you will see this because, like I said, I wore it yesterday, even though it wasn't like done exactly the way I wanted to. I wore it anyway. And honestly, I loved wearing it. I think it's going to be nicer now. So let's see. I'm going to cut off this extra yarn. And all of this is going to be used for something. I promise. But here it is. And let's go try it on. Alright, guys. So this is what it looks like. And honestly, I like the way it looks much better now. I like the fact that you can't see my face. The way I stitched it is a lot better. The straps are the perfect size. I did bring it down one more. I had it brought it down. I did originally 11, and then I brought it down to I brought it down to, hold on. Okay, I brought it down from 11 to 9, and then I tried it, but it was still a little too much, so I brought it down to 8. So it's 8 on each side. And I love it. Maybe it could have been a little looser because I am so top heavy, but I think it looks great. And again, like, it is very comfortable. I don't feel extremely hot in it. We are going to make one like this in cotton and see how that works out. And I might add a few more stitches just because cotton is not as forgiving as acrylic, right? There's not that stretch if you're using 100% cotton. And so I might just make it a few stitches more just to make sure that I have enough room. But that is all for this video. I'm sorry it's a very weird one. I try my best, guys. But thank you so much for being here. If you watched all the way to the beginning. Wow. Yeah. Okay. You know I need to take a break. If you watched all the way to the end, thank y'all so much. You are always welcome to leave a comment. All I ask is that you be kind and respectful. But, leave a comment if you want. And please hit that like button. It helps so much. And hit that subscriber button if you're not subscribed. I would really appreciate it. Please. And if you want to know when my videos post, you can always hit that notification bell. And for the most part, it'll tell you. But, it's crazy. But anyway, thank you so much. You can always check me out on Instagram and Facebook and Threads. I do have a website. I'm not sure how it's working right now. There was a little issue, but that should be taken care of soon. And if you always, want to reach out to me for some reason, you can do it through Insta. Go on my Instagram page and you can send me a message if you want. But if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I make. But I want to thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And I will catch y'all in the next one. And just keep creating, y'all. Keep creating. Whatever you make is special and beautiful and wonderful. Oh, and that's another thing. If you ever want to share projects that you make with me, you can always go into my community page and put pictures in there. All right, guys. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay creative. Bye.